Hey guys, welcome to another news breakdown here on Soto Pop. Alright, as always, I'm your host, Frozen Stratos, and today we have some brand new information coming out on the Shodo front. This is our very first look at Shodo Super, and then we're going to go into our usual Soto breakdown. But yeah, let's start with Super. So, first up, brand new to the line, we're going to be getting our first Super Sentai series release in Shodo, and it's going to start with Sun Vulcan, which is apparently one of the bigger Sentai in Japan. And this is, again, a Showa era series, which lines up with a lot of what Shodo sort of started out with Kamen Rider. So we'll be getting our Vol Eagle, Vol Shark, and Vol Panther, and just a slew of accessories. You'll be getting their individual weapons, you'll be getting their various final attack balls, you got some footballs, you got some balls with spikes on them. It's a good time. And then here's everything that the set comes with. Obviously, Red is going to have his extra sword, and then just tons of hands. I think I counted them out earlier. It was around 30 hands, so like 15 sets of hands each. I'm not 100% sure on that math, but it's just a lot of hands. And you know, Shodo had at one time replaced the hands at the cuffs rather than the hands right at the wrist. So I'm glad that they're sort of conserving a little bit of space and plastic by doing the wrist swap instead. So again, this is all that it comes with. There is a lot here, and I will mention this does cost a lot. This is a premium Bandai release, and it is up on Toku Collectibles as well. This is actually where the news first broke on Twitter, and then a bunch of other sites sort of dogpiled onto this information. Basically, it's 5,500 yen on Premium Bandai, and then through middleman services, it'll be about $88 coming from Toku Collectibles, or maybe any other of your preferred importing areas. So just keep this in mind. And also, you know, we rarely get candy toy or even figure releases for Sentai. Yudo's really been trailblazing it recently in having a whole team, and you know, they're taking a risk here, and it's really hard to say what I'm about to say for a big company trying to make money, but you know, if you have the means, maybe support this. I know it comes out to, at least for us in the United States, comes out to about $30 a figure, which is steep. I understand that. But, you know, they're taking a risk here. Sentai products don't typically do well, even the artisan stuff for Premium Bandai. So, if you have the means, if you're on the fence about these, you know, Shodo is a really good line. Shodo's been going on since Kamen Rider. It has a Dragon Ball line here in America and in Japan. So Shodo is really kicking butt with Kamen Rider recently, so I think you'll be happy with these if you end up picking them up. That said, I don't want to pressure anyone into buying this. I just really want this line to do well. This was released in concert with the mini plow release of their mecha, which was neat, and I think going forward it'd be nice to have, you know, figures come out alongside their mecha. I just hope they don't, you know, they don't end up skipping the teams that they had already done, like Live Man, Jew Ranger, and all that sort of stuff. There is a wider discussion to be had about these figures and why Sun Vulcan was chosen. Again, it is a very big team in Japan, and you know, it's a bold move to not go with Jew Ranger, since you know, figures typically do better in America. But I have a feeling, now this is just conjecture on my part, I have a feeling that since Hasbro owns the likeness of most other Sentai items, and basically they have dominion over the Western audience. There's gonna be less of a push for Mighty Morphin and really the Western favorite teams, and have a really Japanese centered line. And it lines up with it being premium Bandai, because they're the only ones that will probably be able to get their hands on this. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this. Tell me in the comments down below what series you'd like to see them tackle next. I've got a few in my head that you'll be able to hear about on the Soda Pop podcast coming out tomorrow. But yeah, these are really cool. These are really neat. Again, if you have the means, please go out and support these. Candy Toy is really doing so much good in this space, and it'd be awesome if you can support that. Anyway, next up, we have maybe our last update to AI02 featuring build. This isn't a build release. They told us last week that we'd be getting our first looks at rushing Cheetah Valkyrie, and that's exactly what we got. Sadly, they wanted to know the difference between the male and female molds, and sadly there are going to be some running changes with her and her gimmick, her inclusion into the gimmick. And it turns out the thigh swapping, that armor swap that they were doing between Vulcan and 01, that's not possible with Valkyrie or any of her forms, just because if they wanted to make the armor about the same mass as the male figures, since this is a slimmed down body, that sort of inner thigh strut would have had to be too thin for toy safety standards, or for it to be safe in general. So it's just going to be molded to the leg, which is fine. I mean, it's sort of what SHODO had done before, and the thigh armor changing gimmick, that's really a 01 inclusion. So again, I don't mind, and it still works well within her own play pattern. Next up, I wanted to talk about the stickers. Now, admittedly, these don't look great. SHODO's been pretty good, at least during 01. All these 01 releases, they've been doing pretty good about minimizing the stickers, especially, recreating the colors of the things that they are sticking on top of. But here it doesn't quite work well. Luckily, the only thing that the stickers seem to be adding detail to are little black areas that probably wouldn't have been able to be recreated with either paint or stickers feasibly. So if you want a better looking version of this, I'd say your best option is to take some lining Gundam marker, some black Gundam lining marker, and fill in these panel lines and fill in the little triangles yourself. I think it would make for an even better product if you, just clear coat it or something to make that paint stick and more durable. But outside of that, the other side, the white half, that's all looking good. Very well painted, very well detailed. I mean, there's not much paint here to put, so it still looks great. And even the belt itself will still have the gimmick of, you take it off, you put that little white part on as the holster, and she can carry around her weapon. It is very effective and looks very striking. So with all that, there is the full wave layout, and unlike last week, everything was shown off in the images themselves. There's no extra added strut. So this, honestly, I thought this was supposed to be it for AI02. Now, this could be a mistake, but they didn't end up numbering these, which leads me to believe that there might be another figure that's going to be slated for this release. I'm not 100% sure. Again, they normally number them once they're done. This could have been a mistake, but they're still unnumbered. Hers was unnumbered, so there might be something come next week or the week after that we don't know about that goes into AI02. Again, it's just conjecture and based off of everything that we've seen about SHODO so far. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Anyway, next up, we're heading over to another 2. And we're going to be looking at 2 of the figures this time. We're going to be looking at Double and Forze. Now, first up will be Double, and they wanted to show off the head and that, you know, as usual, it's PVC, fully painted. Even the sides of the head, which I was not expecting, even the sides of the head are fully painted. And if I'm not mistaken, the little peg on the back of the head is painted in silver as well. I'm not quite sure what that's about, but it's neat. So far, this looks really good. Even down to the arms, it's looking fantastic, specifically on the Joker half, because all of that shiny purple paint is really popping. There's a lot of P's in that sentence. But on the other side, you know, you've got a little bit of stickering, even on the belt, which looks a lot like a wrestler's belt with some grapes inside, or even some weird Egyptian patterns, but I don't know, some hieroglyphics, but then we've got the back, which looks like an absolute mess, but, you know, that's really more of a thing for the design of the actual suit rather than the figure. It's just doing it perfectly, or at least, you know, properly. And yeah, then the legs. So at first glance, they look fine, even though there's a sticker at the bottom cuff for the Cyclone side. Oh, and even the Joker side. But take a look at the leg. That's not a good look. It looks all crunched. The sticker on the 2009 thing looks all crunched up. There's a hair sticking out of it. Come on, man. And if you know what, end up royally screwing it up, kind of like this, there is the extra 2019 sticker, so you could try again. And then once you've gotten your other one, sticker that one up with the 2009 one. But yeah, anyway, that's Double. Now we move on to Forze, and we'll take a look at some positives first, because I've got a lot of negatives on this, sadly. The head looks fantastic as always. It doesn't quite match the gray of the body itself, but that's accurate to the show, so again, can't fault it for that. Again, head looks great. The chest is well rendered. I'm wondering if the back of the torso is going to be the exact same as Fi's, just because I'm not quite sure if it, you know, differed in the suit itself. But here, it has that little piping that goes up from beneath the pectoral and into the pectoral, that I wasn't expecting them to, like, render in that way, to actually have something sticking out, so mad props to that. That looks really cool. But then, not only does it have to have Fize's not so great sticker detailing, it also has these really horrible shoulder stickers, which don't look good. They really don't. It's sad to say. I mean, you hate to see it. I just wish they do better on these stickers a little bit, but I understand it is a complicated mold, so and you're gonna have to apply a flat surface to that very rigid one. So this just comes with the territory. I'm still excited for it. I'm still buying it. It's, you know, I pre-ordered it. And, you know, lastly for this, you get your sticker sheet, which looks exactly like it should. There's nothing here that really stands out. And we already knew about being able to put 2011 or 2019. But that wasn't all. They wanted to give us one last sort of, I guess, tease for next week. But before that, they said AI01 will be released Monday, October 28th. And coincidentally, that's the same release date as another 2. So keep your eyes out on whatever site you pre-ordered these on, because you'll be getting a payment request by then. Or if you haven't already, and you're waiting for these to go in stock so you can probably snipe them, October 28th in Japan is the day you'll be looking at. But there is another figure that they didn't show off, and that was another O's, which is Dan. So the reason they didn't show him off in this week's post is because actually next week is the anniversary of Dan in the O's arc for Geo. So that's neat. I'm glad that they waited this long to, you know, fit it into place. That's awesome. Great job to the SHODO team. Definitely not to be missed. So yeah, that's about it, guys. That's all for SHODO and SHODO. Tell me in the comments down below what you're thinking about all this news, specifically SHODO stuff, what you want to see next, and if you think SHODO AI02 is done. Do you think we'll be getting another thing next week? Only time will tell. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.